Welcome to another episode of In the Line of Wire. This is Jahan Ara. I have with me today Zahir Kidwai, who is the CEO of BITS. BITS stands for Beyond Information Technology Solutions. Hello, Zach. How are you?
I'm fine.
Everyone knows him as Zach, so that's what I'm going to refer to you as.
I won't call you what everyone knows you as.
Okay. Thank you. So, Zach, we were just talking before we started recording for the show about new media. You're you are the pioneer of new media in Pakistan. And you started as early as 1989. So tell us about that. What was that first application that you made, even before new media became a buzzword around the world?
Well, 1989 there was Ad Asia Congress.
In Lahore?
In Lahore.
When Javed Jabbar was the Minister for Information.
Minister for Information was PPP's government, and Nawaz Sharif's government in Lahore, which was leading, in Punjab, and therefore was leading to conflicts. But still, Ad Asia was probably the finest event we've hosted, among at least one of the 2 or 3 finest events in the country that I've ever been in.
Yes, it was spoken about for years all around the region.
And in fact, when we went the next time, you were coming from Hong Kong and I was going from here, we met at Malaysia. And almost everybody thought Malaysia would really have a show, and they all kept saying it was nothing like Pakistan. So it was amazing. But how it happened was, obviously I was interested in technology, education. I had my little 9-inch Mac, which strangely enough in those days had a touch screen attachment to it.
Yeah.
And Edward de Bono was coming for the keynote speakers program there.
I remember, nobody recognized him. He was walking around totally lost.
So when I heard that he was coming, I rang up this Ad Asia people and I said, I want to listen to the keynote address, and how do I get to Lahore and listen to this? I mean, I can go on my own, but how much will it cost? And they said, are you from an advertising agency? Get your company to book it. I said, I'm not. I'm just a freelance single person. So they said, well, the thing costs 15,000 rupees.
Which was a lot of money in those
days. A lot of money in 1989.
For struggling new media
15,000 rupees for new media people, or anybody.
Yeah.
For anybody in any industry. The advertising agencies were obviously hosting the whole show, so they were going to send tens of people, from all sorts of lives.
Right.
So I said, well, I can't afford 15,000. And I kept thinking, I just got to listen to this guy. I was running workshops about his stuff at TRC. So I phoned Javed Jabbar up and I said, who's handling all this checking in and checking out and whatever?
Registering of...
all the management part of the thing. And they said, there were people sitting there going to do it by hand. And I said, have you got software for it? I said, no. So we said, all right. So I went to UDM, who at that time were Mac dealers. And I said, listen, can we make some software for them and do it for them? And then I'll go and help them run it, and I'll supervise it. And Anjum, who used to work there as well, we'd all go. And they said, fine. So I got them to get it donated for this, but not our services. Anjum and I had to be paid to get there and our tickets, etc. So I phoned up Javed and I said, listen, this is what it is. We need to come in and do this. We'll get you this free. And I really sold that well. So he was thrilled. And he said, how much will it cost? So I said, 15,000 rupees. And,
which will get me into
Edward de Bono's lecture. So this is how it started. Anjum and I decided to go there. We had this little Mac with us, and we decided now it's about time to build something else. Everybody was looking at this little Mac and saying, what is this? This doesn't look like a computer. So by the time we got there, we had this little application going, in which was really a precursor. There were no, in those days there was nothing else that I knew of at least, which had links and hyperlinks or whatever else going.
Correct.
So we had this little application which was a presentation. Part of it was programmed, part of it was little routines taken from elsewhere, and where you had pictures of Lahore, and you had the day's program on it, and you could click a particular part of Lahore's map and see Zamzama, a black and white dotted image that used to be part of those days in 8 bits. You'd see that, and if you clicked further on it, you could read a little description of it. Fortunately, Max even then had audio, images and everything else perfectly.
And people were amazed.
They were amazed to see. I mean, now considering you look back at this bitmap image in black and white, and you think, what the hell, how could anybody be fooled? And we were saying, how near a photograph this is.
Yeah.
It's amazing what perceptions change over time. So we did that, and we put that up on a little pedestal. And
you even made money off of it.
Yeah, actually people came from Singapore and all over the place and looked at it and said, this is absolutely wonderful. You're doing this in Pakistan, we don't do this at conferences there. And then lots of people loved it. The Japanese said we've used this frequently. But the thrill was that we had put little menus, places to go, buses to ride to place, a small list of Chinese restaurants and other restaurants.
And carpet shops.
And carpet shops. And things that Anjum and I just picked up off the road. We didn't know where to go. We just took them off some brochure or some ad. And this Chinese restaurant guy came and he said, can you put our menu in it? And I said, menu? I mean, I just click there, we go to your address and everybody's address. He said, no, but if you tell them that we've got a very exclusive menu, then people will come there. So I said, yeah, I mean, we can, but it takes a lot of work, 6,000 rupees. And it's going to take 3 days. And he said, no, I don't have 6,000 rupees. And 3 days ke to khatam ho jayegi conference. So I said, all right. So we charged him 2,000 rupees. And we said, you bring a photograph and get it scanned from the market somewhere, which was also difficult in those days. So get it scanned, bring it in, put it into this on a floppy. and so we put that in. And he paid us 2,000 rupees for the first night.
Wow.
We did that. There was no programming really required, but I mean, okay. I hope he's not
Crook
listening.
that you are.
I hope he's dead now. So he was an old man then. So, so after that, the second evening, we had 11 or 12 people who wanted various things. Their restaurants, their carpet shops. They all came in with photographs at 2,000 rupees. So that
you
night,
made a bundle.
So that night we made a bundle. And the thing was, it was really thrilling because, you could actually, now when I think back, things like hyperlinks, going there, seeing audio, it was really fun. So that was the first project. But then it wasn't something that we decided to follow up later or anything. The application probably still lies somewhere with us, but it will run on nothing at all. It was done in HyperCard, most of it.
Right.
So, but that moved on. Then we had this invitation from Apple, where I went and met you there as well, where they were doing an Apple education conference.
Yes.
And they showed Authorware there.
Yes.
And it really blew our minds because there was nothing like Authorware anywhere in the market. I still don't think there's a product anywhere near it on either platform. So,
when you say either platform,
meaning Windows and Mac, then
and
Mac and Windows.
Linux.
Well, Linux, they don't really, it's not a commercial kind of thing where somebody will port Authorware to it. Somebody else might do an equivalent of that, but that takes some time. But there are enough options now available in new media.
Correct.
So
but at that time there weren't.
There weren't any. And
Authorware cost in the region of $6,000.
$9,000. $9,000 US dollars came with a dongle, which we bought.
Yeah. That's how excited we were.
And used in our company when you also joined up as well. We did lots of things with it. But that jump from there after Authorware was tremendous because when IBM wanted a CD for their 40th anniversary.
No, let's go back a step.
Okay.
Even before IBM, when I came and we started.
Okay, yeah, we had this little crazy idea. When Jahara arrived, I'm going to expose you now. She arrived here with the idea that she was going to, she used to be this dynamo media person in Hong Kong with the second largest, I think, media company in Hong Kong. She was director there and she was there with media marketing and all sorts of things. Here she arrived, she was going to transform Pakistan's media. Because nobody...
No such thing.
So we decided that nobody here knows anything about selling media coverage and stuff like that. She tried, wrote to different people, everybody was excited hearing about it, advertising agencies knew about it, didn't think there was a market for it. So she was sitting in our office because when I used to go to Hong Kong and work out of there, I'd sit in her office. So courtesy demanded that she would be allowed to sit here. And anyway, so she was there and then Sabine was with us and she was just a student, I think, from college at that time. And we decided that we were going to work out this little floppy, 3.5-inch floppy with 400K of memory. Can we do something new media on that? Or it wasn't called new media, I mean, it was just whatever, multimedia, whatever it was. And then we worked out on that, a little introduction, an image of Jahara, her experience, and really click. It was a CV, which was semi-interactive.
Yeah.
And we decided to display that at this ceremony. What exhibition was that? Shahzad Nawaz had put up an exhibition.
One-to-one communication.
One-to-one communication, and put up this thing on publishing and fonts and everything else. So we entered this as one of the entries in advertising because we said, all right, here's one personal advertising format. First of
there
all,
was a teaser campaign with it.
Yeah. And then they said that we've got no place for this because we're looking up at print ads and videos. But finally he put this in and actually we won the prize for it. So because everybody thought it was pretty unique. So that was the first one. Then looking at that, the Aga Khan University came. They were setting up a sports complex and they wanted something on a floppy that could be sent out. And that we took probably to the next level because you could now put a magnifying glass on different parts of the field and go to those images and see architectural plans, and a lot had to be crammed into that little floppy. I mean, it was really amazing. Quite crazy actually, I thought, when you look back. That started the thing going.
Yes.
Then Sabine had another idea for herself, which we from our company decided to put that was she did this CyberNet. We just started getting on CyberNet and nobody knew how to configure for a Mac. So all the dealers would come in and send, vendors would come in and say, people, Mac पे तो चलता नहीं है internet, या Mac पे तो email हो नहीं सकती. So, all right. So this was when you put it in.
It was a tutorial.
And it can help you configure.
Yeah.
That had the first time that it had a little more animation in it, because it allowed things to come in and so. So as new techniques were scouring the forums for finding out how to learn, none of us were IT people in the background. So it was great fun. And this led to, I think, Nisar Memons.
When we decided to pitch.
He wanted to go to do something 40 years of IBM in Pakistan, nearly the 50th year of Pakistan, not quite yet. And South Africa was their regional office, and they were looking at somebody in Singapore, India, and wherever else to get a multimedia CD made. And when we went and told them that, we can do it.
He said, what does we mean? There were four of us.
We told them that there were 4 of us in the company, and we can do it. And he said, we got something to show, and we showed them these little bits. And, it was IBM, and first of all, 3 of us who had walked into his office were wearing Mac t-shirts, which was pretty frowned upon.
The first thing he did was to make us change into IBM t-shirts.
Well, no, he didn't take us as IDP. He gave us those little IBM OS2 badges.
He made me change into an IBM
maybe he wanted to see you change.
Which had that IBM on it, the I and then a B.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so we got that. And we showed it to him and he said, are you sure you can handle this? And of course, we've done lots of it. Correct. Which we've done nothing of.
But we must give him credit.
No, but he understood that despite opposition in his office, he gave us this job. And he said, all right, if Pakistan can do it, fine. But it will have to be passed by the South African agent who got them. So we sat down and they were going to do a history of IBM and catalogue of their products in the interactive CD. And we thought that was boring. So we said, can we put in a little part about Pakistan? So we added culture, music, history, and some quizzes about IBM that most people at IBM couldn't answer.
And Charlie Chaplin.
And for my own self, the best part of that quiz was actually teaching IBM people about IBM because, they didn't realize that there were 4 Nobel Prize winners working in their offices in worldwide.
And the fact that we didn't have, they didn't have a photograph of their first CEO who was country manager for many years.
I must tell this story. I'm sorry if I'm going to take time, but this is important. Dadi Saab was the first CEO. Yes. We've also had a photograph of the first IBM computer coming off from the port and going into this high-tech thing, going on a Gada Gadi or a Goda Gadi or something, being carried into it. But that was fine. But what was important was that Dadi Saab ki koi photograph nahi thi in his formal suit dress. And we had Kareem, we had all these.
And where we did have it, his eyes were closed.
His eyes were closed. So we finally got one, enlarged it. Now you think back, this is also
early 90s, 96.
96. Yeah. So 96 May. So we're now getting this little Photoshop 1 type of thing. And I've got somebody else's suit put onto Mr. Dadi. And I've also got somebody else's eyes and put that onto Mr. Dadi, but he looks Dadi-ish anyway. The fun thing is that we've got the suit off from another IBM picture, and the question I'm asked by this high-tech guy at IBM, कि आपने उनका सूट उनको पहना है, fit आ गया? So, excuse me, this is Photoshop, it's about shrinking, fit out. It's really funny. So anyway, we got this, and then the South African people came. It was really, I must admit, Nisar not only supported us, the company was upset by the fact that we were working all on Macs, but then Authorware was only available at that time on Macs and only a player on Windows, which is the reverse now.
Yeah.
But so we had to work on Macs and transfer everything to an IBM to show it to them, and this was very difficult.
So he gave us an IBM PC.
Yes, but it was very difficult to take this across. So we asked him to come, and when I first phoned up his secretary and I said, would you please ask Mr. Nisar Memons if you want to see it, can he come across to our office? They were horrified. How dare 3 twerps in IT ask the giant of the industry, the chairperson of that. He was a big shot, IBM's chairman.
He still is.
He still is, but in different ways. But so for him to come here to our office, and he was casual, he walked. Yes. It was absolutely amazing. So he walked in, he brought people, then he brought the South African region person who still had doubts that Pakistan could do it. But she came and saw it and she said, this is wonderful, you guys can go ahead. So we got the contract and we produced. That was the first CD-ROM that got produced.
Yes.
And then it was a kiosk produced to go with it so that they could take that by, not donkey cart this time, but by some van into different cities and show them.
Correct.
Seeing that ICI wanted something else, and we did something for them, and then made their first large kiosk.
And then the first Jaffarji's interactive product catalog.
Product catalog came out that you could place orders online on that. It was really amazing. So it was good fun. I think where as a company, financially, we never did well as much, was because...
That's because we were having too much fun.
Yeah, we were having too much fun, and we had one thing which was, I'm saying this to people who are IT people, that maybe you should never fall into this trap. Chances are you won't, but please never do. We decided that instead of the tried and true formula, that once you know, if you've got this mug, then the way it becomes cheap is that you produce 5 million of them with one mold. If you want every mug to be a different shape, it's going to be very expensive. This was it. We'd done this, we countered here, we calculated something new here, we got a new idea. The next CD won't have it, or the next product won't be a CD or something else. It's got to be different. But there was never a template, and each one took us the same amount of time. But the best part was that when we moved on to things like ABN AMRO, who then asked us to do 50 years of art in Pakistan, which we proposed to them because there were art people everywhere around the world, they were doing art. And we did 50 years of art in Pakistan, and I really hoped by this time we'd got mature onto authorware work, etc., that a lot more people in Pakistan, because you obviously no one company, anyone can claim to do everything. And if we did 50 years of art in Pakistan, it was not our expertise, it may have been our interest. My wife was doing a lot of research and it was her interest. But in this valley, we took two people who were then students, who are now teachers, recognized teachers of art and artists, to do the research for us, because there's got to be expertise coming in. I've seen a lot of other CD-ROM and new media material, mediocre or worse. Where it fails is that the content is nothing that those people are aware of. So, so
domain experts should be involved because they understand the content.
Absolutely, they have to understand, and they also understand their audience. I mean, you might want to put a little Sheshka, which may not go very well with the 90-year-old heart patients that they're trying to target.
They know where to have access to this content.
So this 50 years of art in Pakistan was, I think, very good. Really interesting that 10 years after the 50 years of art in Pakistan has come and gone, it was never commercially sold. ABN AMRO distributed it. My neighbor comes to me and said, I've just been to Singapore for a medical conference from Pfizer. And he said, I brought a CD from there and it's from Pakistan. So I said, you bought it in Singapore? I didn't think it was sold. He said, no, the conference was one of the sponsors was ABN AMRO with 300 delegates from worldwide, and this is what ABN AMRO presented in the package.
Wow.
And that's our art CD.
So they obviously replicated it.
Sure, and they may have stocks left. I mean, I don't know what they did.
Yes.
Or maybe the Pakistan batch sent it to them for some eventual things. But this is great to see that so many years later, it could be presented as something that could still be of value.
But it would have been of more value, I feel. I was personally quite upset that they did not decide to then have it replicated in 2000s and made sure that it was available at universities and it was available to the public. They said we don't want to make money off it, but
they didn't have to make money, but they said we have no slot for this kind.
Yes.
Well, this is corporations, they can't fit into anything outside whatever is written in there.
Yes.
So we had
Which
to do
is sad.
Yeah, but I mean, it did get pirated for a little while in this valley, because I made a presentation there and I told the students, here's a copy for your library, please copy it. Every student wanted it because there are 112 artists, their biographies, their works, their analyses, their videos.
Quite comprehensive.
It's quite comprehensive. Thank you.
That was an amazing session with Zahir Alam Kidwai, who is, I don't know, you can't describe him in one sentence, but he took us through a nostalgic journey of how new media has been used in Pakistan and how sad it is that it hasn't been used more. And he has thrown a challenge to Rabia and me to try and do something about it. So Rabia, let's do something about it. Until next time, this is Jahan Ara signing off from In the Line of Wire.